Hello, Twin Flames, and welcome back to God Conscious Twin Flames 1111. My name is Pamela, and I want to thank you for being here today. I want to thank all my new subscribers, all my new viewers, all the loyal followers. Wow. It means a lot to me to have you guys on this path. I can't say that enough because for the longest time, I was alone. I had no one to turn to. I couldn't talk to my friends about what I was experiencing. I knew that this was on a higher plane, a higher evolutionary plane. It wasn't just about, labeling he's a narcissist or he's a liar or he's a cheater or he's this or that. It wasn't about any of that. And it was the first time, I think, in my life that I had this conviction in my soul that it was, you've got to see beyond all that. And the love was so profound and so amazing, as were the experiences with my twin flame, that I knew that it was something special. Unbeknownst to me, it was a calling on my soul to turn back to the divine and to really focus on how God sees us and how God thinks and how God, nurtures us and how God tries to correct us on the path. And so my focus shifted from the 3D world of blame game to the 5D world of how can I see this differently? How can I see this in a more loving way? I am a twin in separation for those that are new to this channel. I am very grateful that I am a twin. I have really started to look at this journey as the journey to God and to divine love. And for me, divine love is all-encompassing, all-enveloping. It is all-consuming, and it really has helped me to take care of me first, really, and honor my relationship with the divine. And it took me 5 years to get to this level of clarity and enlightenment and evolution. And it may not take that for everybody else, but I was pretty hard-headed, and he had actually been trying to get my attention for the last 20 years. And slowly and surely I started to embark on that spiritual journey, very resistant, very afraid, very independent. And really, I want to say that it was due to a lack of knowledge and understanding of how the divine actually works in my life. So, so the entirety of the soul journey is a lifetime. I am in agreement with following the path of love, unconditional love, not just love. I am in agreement with being obedient to the laws of the fruit of the Spirit. And that's kind of what I encourage on this channel. And that's kind of how the angels and guides and God use me by way of doing readings for the collective in a God-conscious way, just kind of pointing out where God is, where the divine is on this journey. He does not interfere with our free will, so the confusion for many divine feminines comes from, yeah, but this makes sense, and this is what God wants, and why aren't they getting in tune with God? And that really has to do with clearing lower vibrational energies that both the divine feminine and the divine masculine have. Though for the divine feminine, it energetically, because we are born with the feminine energy, it's much easier. For the divine masculine, it's a little more difficult because they were born in with the masculine energies. And they were conditioned to reject the feminine energies. So they were taught not to cry. They were taught to man up. They were taught about, not dealing with their feelings. A lot of their feelings are pure anger. Excuse me while I grab my water. So their feelings are kind of animalistic is the only way I know how to describe that. Animalistic is what comes to mind. So it's basic, and it's primal is probably a better word, primal. So though some have gone on the spiritual journey, some have been alienated from religions or from organizations where they didn't fit in. And the idea of fitting in, which is what we are conditioned to believe, that we're supposed to fit in and we're supposed to follow certain ideologies, for a lot of us that's not so. I know for me it isn't so, and it was never so, except that I tried to fit in. And because I tried to fit in, I was extremely uncomfortable, and then I learned how to numb myself in various ways. Alcohol, drugs, sex, relationships, shopping, online computer games or offline computer games, just running from dealing with my feelings. And so when the divine kind of cornered me and captured me and kept me still for a period of probably about a year and a half, where I did almost nothing but cry, it was because he gave me images, like there were weeds wrapped around my heart that were preventing me from true love. He gave me images that all the adults that were around me, I saw little children trapped in adult bodies. Those images helped me realize that I too was a little child trapped in an adult body. I knew that those weeds were wrapping around my heart. I was an avid gardener for a long time. And so God gave me these ideas that resonated with me so that I could pursue His way. And then I got into the Bible and, the Course in Miracles. I've shared that before. The Course in Miracles was a huge tool to help me break from the illusions that the world wanted me to believe into the illusions that God wanted me to live. So there's a big difference. The illusions that the world wanted me to believe, or the illusions that God wanted me to have. Now those are the things that God wanted for us. He gave to us when we were little children. But our parents were conditioned out, so they conditioned us out. Not all of us. I have met many people. Most recently in Florida, there were some in New York. Many more people that were conditioned into a relationship with God, as opposed to God being a punishing being. He's a loving being and a powerful being. So this reading just excuse me, I want to fix something. Just bear with me, guys. Okay, I needed extra light. So I am listening to 1000 hertz full restore all 7 chakras at once. So I don't know if you can hear that. It's an ultra healing vibration I'll have to put, I've never subscribed to this channel, but I can put the link into the description box below. But it is a 10,000, not 1,000, 10,000 hertz full restore all 7 chakras at once. Powerful. A lot of us have blocks in our chakras, and we want to get clear, and we really want to learn our body, because that's where we feel the divine partnerships. This is where we feel the divine relationship with God. I don't know, some of the vibrations I get when God is present with me, when the Holy Spirit is present with me, is heat in my face, and it just kind of stays with me. Some of the ways he visits me is by tears. So, if I'm in a church service and I just start to cry, I feel the difference between a cry from sadness and a cry from gratitude, from the divine trying to get through to me, like something really resonated with me, something that I can share. He uses dragonflies. This morning, which I have to look up, he gave me a hummingbird. So there are so many ways in which the divine tries to get your attention. I'm going to encourage you to look for them. Sometimes it's directly following a thought or an action to say, yes, you're on the right path. We want to know that the divine is present with us at all times, and we sometimes just don't know how to look or find him. So what happened today, This reading is for the Divine Masculine, actually, Divine Masculine energy. And when I was shuffling the cards and tuning in, the cards started to fly out. So that's the spread we have today, is that the cards flew out for us. They will be validated by, this is the Ciro Marchetti Tarot of Dreams deck. I'm going to validate it with the Ciro Marchetti Gilded Tarot deck. For any further clarifiers as I read through this, spread, as they give me the information and guide me through this spread. So I'm going to start like I usually do with Jesus Calling by Sarah Young for August 13th. And like I said, this is from August 13th to August 20th. It says, learn to enjoy life more. Relax, remembering that I am God with you. I crafted you with enormous capacity to know me and enjoy my presence. When my people wear sour faces and walk through their lives with resigned rigidity, I am displeased. When you walk through a day with childlike delight, savoring every blessing, you proclaim your trust in me, your ever-present shepherd. The more you focus on my presence with you, the more fully you can enjoy life. Glorify me through your pleasure in me. Thus you proclaim my presence to the watching world. So whether you know it or whether you don't, there are people that are watching you on your journey. There are friends and family members and children and people in your social circle and your divine counterpart. So although you may not see in the 3D world your divine counterpart, there are sensations that we get that things are okay or things are not okay. I know I get them. I know when he's done things that he's ashamed of. I know when he's in guilt. I know these things. For a long time, I thought that it was me. And so God gave me the idea that, no, I'm just showing you this is where he's at. So that taught me how to pray and surrender and say, God, you have to handle this. God, please take this. Forgive him, Father, for he knows not what he does. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Because the reality is, I am an empath. I am empathetic. I am a highly sensitive being, and we all are. We just don't know how to process all of that energy that we feel, and we often think it's ours. So when our counterpart is going through a clearing, sometimes we get those vibrations. Sometimes we have dreams. Sometimes the name comes up. Sometimes you're driving past and there's all sorts of signs of your twin flame. When that happens, I usually pray for my twin flame. In the beginning, I used to try to reach out and at the beginning, the divine would have me, try to get his attention. He didn't listen, but my job wasn't to get his attention for him to listen. It was to see if I was going to obey God over what my twin flame would think about me. So it really was about, am I going to be obedient to God or am I going to be obedient to the twin? And even when we are in a relationship, when we are in a union, I have to obey God and not my twin. So the laws of God are the universal laws. If I am not taking care of me, there is no way that I can expect my twin to take care of me. And sometimes that's what we thought love was, and that's what we've witnessed, is that we take care of each other. Well, what that really is codependency. I must be in full ownership of everything that I think, I feel, all of my energy, all of my beingness has to be nurtured by me with the divine. Now, my counterpart, when and if he obeys and comes whole, when we were together the first time, we were two whole beings that would created this third entity, which was this beautiful union, which there was always just peace and love and joy. But because the lower vibrational energies were still in both of us, we were separated. And in that separation, we have an opportunity for growth. We have an opportunity to turn the divine and trust in the divine. If we take back our will in that, then we are then off and running and wind up in pain. So I want to encourage the divine feminine to stay in God's truths, which you can find in the Bible, you can find in the Course in Miracles, you can find in affirmations, you can find in daily inspirational books, kind of like the one that I just read from. There are hundreds of daily affirmations out there. There are Bible apps that give you a daily Bible verse that can help you on that path. And I have found that it's usually exactly what I need. So with that book, it's asking us to read Matthew 1:23. And behold, the virgin shall be with child and bear a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which is translated God with us. So God is with us. God has been with us the whole time. And even in our pain, he wants us to turn to him. He is with us in our waking moments, in our sleeping moments, in our everyday moments. Then we have John 10 through 11. So 10:10 is another number that I get a lot of. I just had that list, so I'll just get up in a minute and get that for you. But 10 through 11. The thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. I have come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd gives his life for the sheep. I'm going to go to 12. But a hireling, he who is not the shepherd, one who does not own the sheep, sees the wolf coming and leaves the sheep and flees, and the wolf catches the sheep and scatters them. The hireling flees because he is a hireling and does not care about the sheep. I am the good shepherd, and I know my sheep, and I am known by my own. As the Father knows me, even so I know the Father, and I lay down my life for the sheep. So, therefore my Father loves me, because I lay down my life that I might take it again. No one takes it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down, and I have power to take it in again. This command I have received from my Father. So, really what that's saying is, you have the power to be free, or you have the power to be bound in pain. And really they want for us to be free. So how do we get free? Well, this is the journey, the path to righteousness. This is the journey, the path to clarity. This is the journey, the path. He gave it to us specifically. He gave it to everyone in different languages. We got the twin flame journey. Just saying. So, the spread that I'm laying out for you is basically where the divine masculine is, and that's where I'm going to go to. So the first card that flew out, and they flew out together, was the Ace of Wands. So that's telling me that the divine masculine is looking for a new path, is looking for change, looking for a different way of existence. He knows that it exists, but he hasn't. So the Ace of Wands shows that he's looking for that in the present moment. That came up together with the Empress, by the way. And the Empress is a nurturing, so it looks as though that in this change that the divine masculine is making, it is going to be in the more feminine self. And I believe that I believe that the divine is kind of pushing that. That's a divine, that's a major arcana, that's the outside. Influences that the divine is trying to get, probably made some things majorly uncomfortable, and the divine masculine is looking for ways to change his environment, change his life, change his experiences. This is also, this is a very intense energy. As you can see, it's kind of lit by the divine. There's a red fiery energy in that. So the divine has orchestrated ways in which the divine masculine can get into a more self-care energy, a nurturing energy, a feminine energy, really taking care of self, taking care of the relationship with the divine, taking care of his heart. The third card that came out, all of these cards flew. All of them flew. So I had to spread it out as they flew out. So the unexpected is that the divine masculine is going to be turning his back from the things that he thought was emotionally fulfilling. So if he was engaged in karmic relationships, or putting work before himself, or putting other people before him or you, he's walking away from that. It no longer satisfies. He is looking for the deeper meaning of all of this. And with those cups not satisfying, he has probably tried each one of those 8 cups. He's probably tried it. Some of those cups may still be valid, but overall he doesn't know that he's turning his back. He's turning his back. And I think that when we look at the 8 of Cups and we look at, the fruits of the Spirit, the card, I think that's right before that, is the 7 of Cups. I got to double check that. But it's showing the 7 deadly sins. It's showing the 7 deadly sins, and I think the card before it. Let me just check that. No. Anyway, I think if you know that, maybe it's the 9. Anyway, there's the cup that's filled with all of the 7 deadly sins, materialistically, and pride, and lust, and all of those things are represented, and he's turning his back from that. He's abandoning a path, and he's asking for the assistance for intuition to help him to determine the new path, probably returning to God, returning to Source. And I'm pretty sure the Divine has orchestrated that, but that's in an unexpected position. And this is the Divine Masculine. So I think he's longing for that, satisfied. He's got the 10 of Cups in here. I think he's longing for that happy home life, that happy family life, that happy enjoyment life. Based on what I'm reading, this is what he's longing for, but he does not have it. And he has to learn how to get it. So I think that with the way the Divine has laid this out, he's really putting sign after sign after sign. It's almost like unmistakable on the Divine Masculine's path, and the Divine Masculine is listening the best that he knows how. And the one thing about listening and hearing God is we don't always know that it's God. But the overall outcome is that he will gain that higher and wider perspective. He will understand that it is God trying to get his attention. That's the outcome. So that's a really beautiful outcome. I did not do the overall energies. Yeah. And so he put the sword down, and he's taken off the helmet so that he can hear more clearly from God. That's the overall energy of the cards. I didn't do that first because that's not how they directed me to do it. So please know that your Divine Masculine definitely is being kind of asked to surrender. I know he's been asked before, but again, he's being asked. I'm sensing that the time is of the essence on this one, based on the way this is reading, and I'll see as we go through more of the reading of the cards. But when the Divine is trying to get our attention and we're not obedient, he will cause chaos and catastrophes for us. The one thing that I know that I had spoken to with my Divine Masculine was that catastrophe is when we don't listen. And neither one of us like that, but we tend to do it. I have learned to stop doing that. I really stay focused on where the Divine is. That is evidenced by all the people that are on my path right now, on the work that I'm doing. I am on path. When we heed this call, when we obey this call, things start to open up, things start to make sense, things come into place. And this being orchestrated by the Divine, like it did for you and for me, that has to be done for the Divine Masculine. But at this point, he is in this state where his helmet is off, and he is more receptive in that state. He is more receptive. So that will ultimately bleed into the daily life of the Divine Masculine. So that was the Divine Masculine reading. We want to see if there's any other clarification cards that you can give us. That would be helpful for those that are watching this. This is the Divine Masculine reading for, wow, I can't believe I'm going to say this, August 13th through August 20th. We are midway through the month of August. We're still in a retrograde, which could be why this is all happening now and why they wanted me to lay out this spread. Well, this is why they gave us the cards they gave us for this week. So the desire for the change, the fire inside to make this change is really, it's inevitable. It's got to happen because the path that they are on is kind of self-destructive. For some, not for all. It depends on how many of them took the time to go into the Empress energy. But it looks like in the Judgment card, they are forced to abandon the path. That's their outcome. Also, being in here, you know, the Divine can work with us when we're sleeping because we're not interrupting. So maybe there's new downloads coming through the cosmos that can be heard. So let's see, what validating cards do you have for this spread for the Divine Masculine for the week of August 13th through August 20th. We thank you for all the messages, for showing up on our path. We thank you for allowing me to be a clear vessel. How else can the collective be helped with this information? And you know, this is information for you to pray over, not to take action over necessarily. We want to make sure that we stay out of the way of what the Divine is doing, that we don't try to play, what am I doing here? We don't try to play God in any of this, and that we let the Divine. So, yeah, any other information, messages you want. Oops. For us, for this one. Thank you. Okay. We're going to see what else they have. For clarifying. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. The Divine has really got him kind of bound. I mean, he can't get out of it. I think he needs to be in the bound state. He is looking out at the horizon, at the things that are available to him, and he knows that he will have the victory over it. It's just a matter of getting in alignment with God. God will give him the victory. Needs to keep him in this so that he can actually listen in the Eight of Swords energy, so that he can really listen to the Divine and get with the Divine. Okay, and then, yeah, we have the Six of Cups as enjoyment, and then the Empress came out twice. So the Empress came out twice, Six of Cups, Six of Cups, Six of Wands. I'm just looking at the numbers to see what else they have for me here to show you. And then the Magician. So, the Divine, this is instant manifesting. Once in obedience with the Divine, the manifesting will feel different, will be different for the Divine Masculine. So, shows in the future Six of Cups, which is emotional happiness, emotional fulfillment, in this deck. In the other deck, it is a little different. I'm pretty sure if I pull that out, let me see if I can find it. No, the Six of Cups in the other deck is nostalgic. I'm trying to find that one. Oh, this is the one. No, that's not the one either. Well, anyway, you've seen it. It came out over the weekend. There is a card that shows overindulgence and the 7 deadly sins, and really just being in. Here it is, 7 of Cups. So you got the snake, you got the keys, as if these things of the world, that you got the jewels, as if the things of the world could satisfy, and they don't. Now he's moving away from those to follow the Divine. And it's a key movement. So since the Empress came out twice, the Empress being the nurturer, the Empress being in the newness and learning the mastery of being in intuition and following intuition. I think that the Divine Masculine will be nurturing that. Yeah, just really nurturing the newness of this relationship. You know, we go through levels with our relationships and the 3D, but we also go through levels of relationships with the divine, and we want to follow the divine path. Sometimes we mix a little divine, a little 3D, and we'll know that we're a little off because we feel it. We feel like this. So that's the Divine Masculine. Overall, it's a good and positive reading. He's coming into his intuition. He'll be forced to come into his intuition and follow his soul, and his soul has been telling him, you know, the divine path, the divine path. Some of them obeyed it, some of them did not. Some of them may have it sooner. Some of you may be in union, some of you are in separation, and it's all as a result of following the path. Now, even when we go into separation and then we go back into we go into union and go back into separation, there was stuff that wasn't cleared. I know that for me, it was for my protection. There's stuff I shouldn't have been around. There's stuff I didn't need to be around. So I just want to do the, because I always do them, they said just a reminder, the Psychic Tarot for the Heart, to help us kind of further validate this reading. So I thank you for your donations, by the way. I didn't get a chance to say that. That helps keep this channel running. The Facebook page is up and running, as is the group page, the private group page. I think you can see it on the Facebook page. I will try to put a link below. You do have to answer a series of questions. And that's going to be a support group. It's intended to be a support group. So I encourage you that watch to look for that on Facebook. It is God Conscious Twin Flame 1111. You can look at God Conscious Twin Flame Support or Twin Flame 1111 Support. Or you can go to the God Conscious Twin Flame 1111 page, and that's at God Conscious. Is you know, type it in the search bar at God Conscious 1111. So I encourage you to get involved there and, you know, share your stories. And I do live videos. I'm trying to do them every Wednesday until that changes. I'm probably gonna have to change it to Saturday. So yeah, I'm excited. We've met quite a few new people on the Facebook page with those live readings. And so Wednesdays at 7 is going to be the time frame. I'm going to do those. Alright, so what final messages do you have in the Divine Masculine reading? You pulled out detach, and it's 11. So that's kind of validating walking away from the things of the world that no longer serve. And that 11 is a synchronistic number. And yeah, they're feeling a little helpless and hopeless. They're going to be asked to give and receive. Let's see what else comes out. Yeah, refusing to see. So the masculine had been refusing to see, but now is being forced to detach from the things of the world that no longer serve. So with that, that's causing a feeling of helpless and hopeless, and the masculine does not know how to give and receive. And the divine is working with him on that. He does not know how to give and receive. So a lot of them have been badly hurt, and very difficult for them to be in receiving. That's why they run from the divine feminine, because we freely give, and that's uncomfortable because they think, oh, well, when's the shoe going to drop or something? You know, what do they want? Or it's going to change, or it's always been bad. And so those are kind of what is going on in the divine masculine's energy and mindset, subconsciously, and then it shows up in the conscious, and that's when he runs or does something not so nice to the divine feminine. So guys, that's the Divine Masculine reading. If you would like to book a private reading to get a clearer picture on what's happening in your journey, you can book that on the Facebook page, or you can go to godconscious1111.org, which is the website, and you can book it on there. I want to thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon. I'm going to be doing the feminine reading shortly.